The first letter we are going to learn today is lowercase I. Okay? There's your printing lowercase I. Let me show you the cursive lowercase I. You're going to start from the bottom and understroke up to the dotted line, trace it back down a little bit, then give it a tail to the middle line, pick up your pencil and dot. Understroke to the middle, trace it down a little bit, touch the bottom line, give it a tail up to the middle line, pick up your pencil, dot. Understroke, trace it down, give it a tail, dot. Understroke, trace it down, touch the bottom, give it a tail, dot. Understroke to the middle, trace it down, give it a tail, dot. I want you to make sure when you do your lowercase I that it touches this bottom line and it touches the middle line. It's going to stay in between the bottom and the middle, and then your dot goes on top of that. The next cursive letter you're going to learn is lowercase u. There's your printing U. Let me show you the cursive U. You're going to start again at the bottom, understroke to the middle, trace it down just like the I, understroke to the middle, trace it down just like the I, and then give it a tail up to the middle. It kind of looks like a W, but not quite. Okay? Let's do it again. Start from the bottom, understroke to the middle, trace it down, understroke to the middle, trace it down, give it a tail. Understroke to the middle, trace it down, understroke to the middle, trace it down, give it a tail. Understroke to the middle, trace it down, understroke to the middle, trace it down, give it a tail. Okay? Again, when you do your cursive U, you want to make sure it stays in between the middle and the bottom line there. The next cursive letter I want to show you is the W. Here's a lowercase w. Here is the cursive W. Starting again from the bottom, understroke to the middle, trace it down, understroke to the middle, trace it down, understroke to the middle, the tail goes on top. So it's the same exact motion as the U, except for now you're putting a tail on the top. Starting on the bottom, understroke to the middle, trace it down, understroke to the middle, trace it down, understroke to the middle, tail on top. Try it again. Understroke to the middle, trace it down, understroke to the middle, trace it down, understroke to the middle, tail on top. Again, you want to make sure that your W stays in between the middle and the bottom lines. And you also want to be careful to make sure that you don't have big, huge tents when you're making these letters. For example, the I, you don't want it to look like this, because then, see, I can camp underneath your tent, and we don't want that. The way that you get rid of the tents, you come up with your understroke, and then you trace that line back down a little bit before you come out again, okay? So that way you just have a teeny tiny tent that nobody can fit in. Same thing for the U. You don't want your U to look like this, okay? You want it to trace down those lines a little bit so that you don't have those tents. Same thing for your W. You don't want your W, you don't want these big wave looking things. So understroke, trace it down a little bit, understroke, trace it down, tail on top, okay? So go ahead and give those letters a try, and then we're going to start putting some of these letters together. All right, let's put together the U, there's your U, plus an I, okay? To put together the U and the I, first, starting at the bottom, we're going to do the U first. Understroke to the middle, trace it down, understroke to the middle, trace it down. Now your tail for your U is going to become the understroke for the I right there. Trace it down, give it a tail, got your I. This is your U, this is your I.
Tents are in room 121 at this.
Alright, sorry about that. Alright, let's do the U and the I together again. Here's the U. The tail for the U becomes the I. Trace it down, pick up your pencil and dot your I. Here's the U. The tail for the U becomes the I right here. Okay, U and I together. Then let's put the W and the I together. The W and the I together will look like this. This is the W, Remember, the tail goes on top. We're going to add the eye. This is your eye. So putting them together looks like this. Starting at the bottom, understroke to the middle, trace it down, understroke to the middle, trace it down, understroke to the middle. Now your tail for your W is on top, so we're going to do the tail, and then we come down for the eye. Pick up your pencil, dot it. W, tail's on the top, come down for the eye. W, tail on top, come down for the eye. Okay? Go ahead and give it your best putting these letters together. Remember, 2 feet on the floor, back straight, paper slightly tilted, one hand holding the paper still and the other doing the best you can.